So thank you for being on our Leader Speak series. This is an initiative of Skoolz to connect the parents and the school with an insight that the parents can find it helpful to make an informed choice to enroll their children into their preferred schools.
You're most welcome. Thank you so much for inviting me on this platform.
Thank you, sir. I would like to introduce sir is an educationalist for 12 years and Mr. Arjun Gupta. Sir, welcome to our Leader Speak series. This is an initiative of Skoolz to connect parents and the school leadership. So thank you again for being with us.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure being with you.
Mr. Arjun Gupta is an educationalist for 12 years. So he knew that he wanted to be a teacher when he was in 10th standard. He knew at that point that how important it is to encourage, motivate young ones. That is where he started, and with that insight, he has become a person to be looked forward to. And the school, Growing Miracle Montessori House of Children, he is the director of that. And this school has bagged twice in a row being the best preschool in Bangalore. So many congratulations and welcome again.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks. So how is the school spirit? How does a school day look like at Miracle?
Yeah. This is a Montessori school, so I'll be talking about my school, Growing Miracles Montessori House of Children.
Yes, sir.
Here, as soon as the children enter, Dr. Maria Montessori says that children would have come with some plan to school. What should they work with? What should they learn today? So we allow the child to first go and work with the materials of the Montessori. Okay, so that the children, whatever they plan, that will be a successful day for them, and the confidence will be better when they have achieved something what they have planned for. So it's like achieving their goals. So we don't start with any prayers or assembly and all those things. The children directly get into the classroom, start working and finish. Once they are done working for around 1 to 1.5 hours, depending on different ages, then we give them a break. Okay, then they have the snack time, and then the prayer happens, shloka, and a lot of things happens there. And then they get into the group activities. The group activities will enhance the child speaking ability, listening capabilities, and all those things. And again, they get back to the work with the materials, and again, they have the play area, the outdoor play area, so that they play for some time, have fun there. And again, they come back, and a lot of other activities which will happen, and then they have a national anthem, and then they leave. So this is a summary of what children do at Growing Miracles.
So children are definitely engaged throughout the day. I mean, for the hours they spend with you, and national anthem to a sense of patriotism is also seems to be incorporated.
Yes.
That's really wonderful to know. So you have a lot of things going. So there's a lot of innovative techniques being incorporated. Would you like to share some with us?
Yeah, sure. We didn't do reinventing the wheel. The wheel was already there. That was what Dr. Maria Montessori had given us. Dr. Maria Montessori was a doctor as well as a physician, and she had a lot of interest in children, especially the early childhood. And that is when she developed this concept called Montessori. And we used her name itself, it's called a Montessori system of education. So Montessori is very, very, very scientific, and it works on the psychology of the child. It works on the subconscious power of the child. It's not like something you come, you work, do something, learn ABCD 1, 2, 3, and go home. It's completely, everything is neurotransmitted in the messages, in the words, in the work we do, and very kinesthetic. It is not just auditory or just visual, it is very kinesthetic. We have so many different materials prepared and designed by Dr. Maria Montessori that we are using it, which has been accepted worldwide. It's not just in India or in Bangalore or something like that. And Montessori system of education is the power for any education system today in the world. That is why Montessori has become so famous to parents. They all want Montessori schools than a traditional preschool, right? So it's like that. So there are different things in Montessori materials. There are more than, I can say, more than 100 to 200 different materials that Maria Montessori has designed, and we use those materials for the innovation. So there's nothing new that we need to really innovate. We need to just follow her steps.
So a tried and tested system that has proved its worth
It's
over
more
the
than a
time.
century, more than 100 years, tried and tested and proven successful.
Definitely. So that's very reassuring for any parent that it's a tested model that that has been very successful. So how stimulative is the classroom and the play area for a child? Children are very you just said kinesthetic too. So how stimulating is that space?
The best stimulated environment you will get it in a Montessori school. The only reason being, here the child is an active participant and teacher is a passive participant. The teacher, or we call as adult or auntie in a Montessori environment. We don't call as ma'am or sir or something like that. We just call uncle and auntie. That's why it's called house of children. It's not a school of children. Okay, so it's like a second house for the child. So the children call auntie or uncle, and the aunties are generally the passive participant. In any traditional school, you generally see the teacher being always the active participant and the child always being the passive participant. We don't even know whether the child is listening to the teacher, is the focus there or anything. The teacher goes on saying something with the blackboard and the child will be just sitting there. We don't know where the mind is, right? But in Montessori, it's not like that. The child will be working with the materials because it is kinesthetic and the child is working with the materials. The child's focus is on the materials. Because the child's focus is on the materials, the child is mentally and physically both present in that environment. And teacher, that is the auntie, helps the child only if required. And I'll give a simple example. There's something called pink tower, which is very famous, which most of the people know. It's nothing but pink cubes of 10 cubes put into a tower. When the child is trying to build the tower, there's so many things that is happening. First, the child should understand which is the big cube that should go to the bottom. And again, out of the 9 cubes, which is the next biggest cube in those 9 cubes. And then pick up that next biggest cube and place it. Okay, and the child has to build the tower like this. By chance, if the child picks up a wrong cube and places it, the teacher will not rush and say, this is not the right cube, put it back. The child will try to build the tower and see, okay, there's something wrong in the tower. Okay, so I have to put it back and maybe pick the another cube. Okay, so this is where the self-learning happens. This is how the stimulation of the brain happens. The logical thinking, the analytical thinking, whatever kind of psychology you talk is available in the Montessori materials.
So exploration, a child explores every concept, learns by experiences. Very refreshing, sir, for sure. So a teacher is also needs to be trained, I guess, because this is a very hands-on thing. So how often do your faculty go through a refresher training?
Generally, the teachers have to go through 1 year or 6 months Montessori training, which is available outside with a lot of centers like Indian Montessori Center, Indian Institute of Montessori Studies, Daphne Institute, and there are a lot of centers which has come up, which teaches the Montessori concepts. But we take the trained teachers and we have our own training system in the school itself.
That's great.
We want all the teachers to work in the same synchronization, to have the same mindset as such. So we have a training system in school itself, and every month we train the teachers for the first 2 months, generally in the summer holidays, and then start the school by June. And every month they'll be having minimum 6 hours of training. So that 6 hours of training every month will develop them mentally as well as with the skills and the concept of Montessori much better. Because it's not that every year they come and do it, and all those things will not work in a Montessori environment. And as you rightly said, that 2 times in a row, our school has been awarded as the best Montessori school for a reason. Because we have an in-house training system, which will really motivate the teachers to give their best to the children.
Definitely. So wonderful to know that the training is there and it is done in a very structured way.
Yes.
So that's definitely a positive. So nowadays, every child learns, not nowadays, every child does learn in its own speed. So how does that in a classroom? How do you accommodate the different learning speed of a child?
I'm very happy that you said every child learns at a different pace, because most of the parents feel all the children learn in the same pace. Every child learns in the same pace, right? That's not true. Every flower blossoms at different time. In the same way, every child has their own pace of learning. And that is where Montessori comes into picture. So Montessori helps the child to work with their own pace and learn things. It's not like, okay, today I'm doing chapter 6 from language. All the children should, whether they have understood chapter 1 or 2, they should listen to chapter 6. It's not like that. Basically, Montessori works on one-to-one. So there is a one-to-one presentation in a Montessori environment. It's not like one-to-many. Okay, so the adult, that is the teacher, sits with the child and shows the child how to work with this material first. That is called a presentation in Montessori. Once the child understands the presentation, then the teacher will allow the child to explore and work with it. And once the child understands and starts working with it, the child will understand and learn at their own pace. Some children may learn it in the first go, some children may learn it in the 10th go. So it's not like, okay, everyone should learn it for the first time, at the first time or the second time, right? So it's like that. So in that way, Montessori is one of the only education system which allows the child to learn in their own pace.
It's really great to know that a child can have that comfort of exploring at their and learning at their own speed. So that being said, if at all, if there is a need for a special educator on request, could this be met in your Growing Miracle?
We as a school, we are working only on Montessori. So we are not specialized in special education. So we don't want to experiment with children by taking children just for the sake of money or the fee's sake. So we don't experiment with children because we are not a subject expertise in special education. So we are only specialized in Montessori, and that is where we work.
So good to know. Like there's a specialization, and you do not want to tamper with the child's. Definitely respect for that. So the other one issue that parents always look forward, or an anxiety point, is the safety and the assurance of privacy of their child. How is this addressed at Growing Miracle?
Yeah, safety, yes, as you rightly said, today's scenario, today's world, safety is first. Only after safety, the next thing comes into picture. So we follow all the protocols of the government of Karnataka, as well as all the other schools that the government tells, and all those things, as simple as CCTVs in every nook and corner, in every classroom, and trained caretakers, only ladies. I don't know whether it's fortunate or unfortunate. I'm the only guy in the whole school. So it's like that. So all the teachers are there, obviously women. The caretakers are all women, including the security is a woman. So we don't entertain any male unless me. Apart from that, the training that we give so that the caretakers are not working with materials but working with children, right? So the caretakers understand that what would be the mindset of a small child, of a young child who's around 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. So we give them that mindset which is required, especially for the IRs. Okay, so that they don't handle them roughly in the toilet area or anywhere else and all those things. Okay, those things are taken care, and wherever the security measures of soft flooring or the corners covering with the soft bushes and all those things, basic things are taken care of. Apart from that, we have an open door policy for parents. A parent can just get into the school at any point of time without a prior appointment, just to check on the child. That is the biggest thing that we can give to the parent to make them feel secure. And these are a few things. There's a lot more things with respect to that.
Definitely your open door policy is a hit with the parent, because that's one way, even as a parent, me personally, the assurance of coming in and check in, making sure that's priceless. So how much of a parent participation would you, expect or appreciate in an academic year?
Every parent has their own lifestyle. Every parent has their own time limit for the children. Only one statement I can tell you is, the more you participate with your child, the faster growth you see in your child as a parent, as a mother, or as a father. So the more you engage with school activities or with the child at home, faster the development, better the development. More than the faster, it's better the development for the child. So there's nothing like, okay, you have to do this, you have to do that. We have parenting sessions. We have monthly ones parenting sessions where many parents attend. Nowadays, sometimes online itself, we are able to do it for the parenting sessions, and parents love to come to those parenting sessions because they learn a lot more things. And the more important thing is they feel that they're not the only parent who are suffering. There are many parents are with the same doubts. So in that way, we help the parents to be part of the school and also understand the psychology of the early childhood education, because the first 6 years is the most important age of the brain development. So Maria Montessori says that the first 6 years, what is developed is 90% of the brain development happens. From 7 years onwards, till you live, it is only that 10% which happens. So you should understand how important it is for a child, early childhood education should be. Otherwise, there's no point there. Many parents feel learning ABCD 1 to 3, I'll teach at home, my child knows it. So that's not right. It's not just about ABCD and 1 to 3. Montessori system of education has so many things to go about. It has EPL, that's exercise of practical life, sensorial, math, language, culture. Sensorial deals with all the senses being activated when the child is learning. EPL is exercise of practical life, what we do in our everyday life, as simple as sweeping the floor, washing the vessels, folding the cloths. Okay, anything. It can be anything like that. And culture is where we really develop the good habits, to call it in layman language, the good habits. As simple as doing namaste, to welcoming, how to offer a coffee, how to offer a tea, or how to, like example, when you're traveling and you see an elderly gentleman, how you get up from your seat and give a seat to the elderly gentleman or woman. So these kind of simple things, there's so many things. The table etiquettes, where should you place the fork, where should you place the spoon, how should you put on the napkin? Okay, these are the simple things that we teach, which is very important in our school, which I believe ethics and values are very important, and we teach all these things. And one of the most important thing and the very successful thing, and what parents are happy is, in the mornings, the child can be 3 years, 4 years, or 5 years. They go touch the parents' feet, take their blessings. And also in the school, when they come, they touch the feet of the teachers and take their blessings. So this has been a super hit, and parents are extremely happy because nowadays no one does that. Okay, no one does that. It's not okay. Parents don't even allow to touch their feet nowadays. It's become like that. Okay, that's a very wrong way of parenting. The child should know in front of parents their ego is nothing. Their ego should be very down with respect to parents. Parents should be treated like God, right? So touching their feet and taking blessings, there is a lot of science also involved in that. Energy which flows from the adult to the person who's taking blessings and all those things. But for children, that's amazing, and children do it very uh, with a lot of happiness. They do it. It's not like I should touch, okay, I'll touch and do it. It's not like that. They'll be waiting in the line to touch the feet of the teachers and then take the blessings and do it. So that's one of the best things that we have done in our school.
Wonderful, sir. Simply wonderful to know that how our traditions are incorporated into the curriculum. Is this a value system that is present in the school that reflects in you? Is this a reflection of your values?
Yes, 100%. That is what we have learned, and that is what we have to follow. Because we can't get westernized so much. We can get westernized with our style, with our dressing, anything. But the roots should remain always Indian. And because India has a lot of values and cultures, which has a lot of meaning as well. Unfortunately, the people are making it little superstitious by many things. So you should understand what is superstitious, what is values. You can't just blindly follow a Swamiji or a Guruji and say that, okay, whatever he tells, it will happen. So parents are getting confused between superstitious and being ethical and valued.
Knowledge, I guess, that's going to differentiate all of this. Sir, NEP has been a step forward for preschool. So it's kind of formalizing it into the education system. Your thoughts on it?
One of the best things that government has done is introducing NEP, because till now it is only from first standard the formal education system is available in India. Before that, that is why it's called a preschool. So anything before the school. So parents take an advantage of saying that it's just time pass, because a mother wants to have 3 hours of free time, they send the children to school. Because the mother is fed up taking care of the child, the mother wants to send. That should not be the intention of sending the child to a school. As I told you earlier, that the first 6 years is very, very, very important for the brain development. So when a parent starts having an intention of brain development is important, and because of that, they have to send a child to the school and not to get an admission for first standard. Right? Most of the parents also send because they should get an admission to first standard, because they ask some questions in the interview and the child should answer it. That should not be the intention of parents sending the children to the school. And NEP making it formal, what happens is the parents will also become serious about this preschooling. Once parents also become serious about it, the education system, the preschool system will also improve. Now it is very unorganized sector. I mean, 10 years back, it was very much unorganized sector. Now, because there are a lot of big people who are coming, it is getting little organized, but still it's a very, very unorganized sector and mainly led by women. So they have their own limitations sometimes. And because of that, it has become like a daycare. Most of the preschools run in the name of daycare, or daycare in the name of preschools. Right? So they should really understand the brain development, what is the importance, the sensitive periods that the child will have. There's a sensitive period for talking, there's sensitive periods for writing, there's sensitive periods for walking, there's sensitive periods for everything. So when we are able to give what the skills that is required in those sensitive periods, that is when the magic happens. Right?
So, systematic approach is what you're suggesting.
Yes, yes, yes.
You knowledgeable for sure, but also very passionate, very into this whole Montessori system, education, being an educator. So what inspired? I just told our parent community and everybody out there that you figured it out at 10th standard that you want to be an educator. What inspired you?
I proudly call myself as a kingmaker, because for me, creating the kings, creating the leaders of the future, it gives me a kick. It gives me a satisfaction, and I get inspired there, and I get very happy there. That self-fulfilling of, yes, this is my child, this is my story. I was able to mold it. That, I don't know whether you call it selfishness or whatever it is. For my own sake, I do it, but it has been doing good to the society.
I wouldn't call it selfish. I would say that the satisfaction you get it from that. So, yes, that's a vision. That's what keeps you powered. That's the inspiration. But everyday challenges are there. So how do you keep yourself motivated? That's something every day, that pick me up that you get. How?
I completely
Where do you get it?
I completely believe in teamwork. One person can't do it. So me being in the top of the ladder doesn't mean that I'm responsible for everything. So I have my employees, my teachers, my staff, who are also having the same mindset and the same mission and the vision what I have. So once they're part of my school, they should think in the same way. So because that I was able to literally go in the triangle from top to the bottom, even the IAS feel, that's what I was saying, even IAS feel that they're working in a prestigious school. They're really helping the children to grow much better, right? When you have that mindset with the teacher and the caretakers, and also involve parents with that, right? Magic happens automatically. And children, there's nothing that we need to mold children, right? Children already have all those things. We need to just show them, see, this is what it is.
Collaboration and a collective mindset, a similar mindset. Wonderful to know. Wonderful to know that this is the environment that children are going into when they choose to go into Growing Miracles. Wonderful, sir.
Thank you.
Any 2 or 3 key factors that sets you apart from the other Montessori houses?
We work for children. We don't work for parents. We don't work for money. If a child, if we feel this is what the child should receive, if the child is only a match for our school, we take the child. As I told you, there are a lot of children who come to our school saying that they have this autism or ADHD, that or this one. We don't take admissions there. Just because the seat is available, we don't take the child and put it slow learners and all those things. We don't take. So that is the first step where we choose a normal child who the development is done properly with the child. Okay, then another important thing is, as per the sensitive periods only, we give presentation to the children. Just because the parent comes and tells, my neighbor's son is already writing, why is my child not writing? You start writing with my child, you will say no. Just because you want the child to write, we can't make the child to write. There is an age for it. There's for everything, there's an age, and for everything, there's a place. Okay, so we don't, just because unfortunately preschools are becoming such a way that preschools are dancing for the parents' tunes. Whatever parents want, the preschool tells will do it. You want your child to write? Okay, we'll give them writing. You want your child to sing? We'll make your child sing. That is not the way to do it. And parents should also understand the competition should be with the child itself, not with the neighbor's child or cousin's child or someone else. I have faced so many problems with parents sometimes saying that already my brother's son is writing because he's going to a preschool. Why is my child still not writing? This is one of the biggest problems with the parents. So parents should understand, okay, there is a time for writing. The child should first improve their motor skills, the pincer movements. The child should know how to hold a pencil. Or most of our children who graduate from Montessori, from our growing curricula, when they write, the impression doesn't fall on the next page. Yeah. Because they know how much pressure to give. What is the angle to hold the pencil? What is the angle to hold the book? Where should the elbow be? Everything. If you go to any preschool and check, when the child writes, the impression would have gone to next 3-4 pages. So these type of things, there are a lot of things. So we literally don't allow parents to give us guidance in what should be done. We say, if you're looking for holistic development, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, then you choose our school. If you want to learn, if your child wants to learn ABCD and 1, 2, 3, please don't choose our school. Please go to some other school. I generally ask this question. I'll just ask you also. Please do. Most of the preschools tell that the child should learn ABCD in order. If the child doesn't orate ABCD, the child will get less marks or less grade or anything like that in most of the traditional schools. Correct. Tell me, in this whole world, where you use ABCD in order. In this whole world, for anything, only for the recitation of the alphabets. Other than that, I don't know where we have used it. Then the most important thing is the child should know 26 letters. That's it. Why should the child learn in order? So this is how we are different from others. Very, very heartening to know. Very growth mindset, definitely. Not walking the beaten path and keeping the child at the heart. And very scientific, very structured approach towards a holistic growth. So it has been fantastic knowing of what your not only your school, about you also. So your feedback on a platform, Skoolz, what do you think about this? Skoolz has been an amazing platform. It's a startup with a lot of vision and helping parents to choose best schools. And I think you have some comparison charts and all those things which help the parents take right decisions. And I wish all the best for Skoolz platform. And let that be the important platform for any parent to choose a school. Thank you. Thank you for your best wishes. So it's been a delight to have you on our Leader Speak series, and a fantastic insight, not only to the school, but as I said, about you as the leadership of the school. Thank you so much, sir, for being on us. Thank you. Thanks for inviting me. Thank you so much.